Welcome to Escaping Purgatory, a podcast where we rewatch Supernatural, then talk it through in the hopes we can finally escape this show.
Join us each week, leave comments on upcoming episodes, and together we can escape Supernatural Purgatory.
Hello.
Hello. Wow.
Yes. I'm just going to start off by saying I hate the name of this episode.
Yeah. Someone thought they would be real clever with this one.
They did, but it's really not. Like, don't sully the Spice Girl name. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
with this mediocre episode.
Right? So this episode, just to be clear, is season 7, episode 13, The Slice Girls.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Not this episode.
No, I like it, kind of, because it feels like they are kicking Dean when he's down, and I think we like our boy best when he's like down in the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, so this episode was written by Eugenie Ross Lemming and Brad Buckner, and directed by Jerry Wanick. There were points in this episode I was like, why? The focus on eyeballs in this episode was wild. Just the extreme close-ups. I was not living for it.
I didn't know that Jerry Wanick actually directed any episodes, because he is the production designer for Supernatural. So the big book of all the set designs and everything. That's all of that's his whole thing. Basically the lookbook of Supernatural, and he is the one who is in charge of that. So he's the one who's in charge of the look of Supernatural. So I think it's really interesting to see an episode that he directed, to kind of look at the episodes through his eyes. Because there were some choices made in this, and I do like some of them. And I feel like he was very much channeling Kim Manners with the very in-depth, close shots of people's faces and emotions. And I wonder if he wanted to go back to the sort of season 1 to 4 era of that look of Supernatural with this episode.
I think so. I do think that. Because the use of color in this episode was really, really good. The two scenes that are happening simultaneously, one being so warm, which is where the guy is getting killed, and then Dean and Lydia is really cool.
Yeah, I
did really like this sort of switch between that. Yeah, you could actually looking at the episode, you can tell it was a photographer that did this episode. Because the lighting was on point for everybody.
Yeah, it was actually, to be fair. I really like the look of this episode. I think it does feel like an earlier season episode. You definitely could have just had this somewhere in the middle of season 3 even, and still get some of the same emotional beats from it. Not all of them.
It could definitely just be picked and plopped somewhere else, which has happened quite a lot, I feel like, in this season, where they've kind of done a bit of a pivot. Yeah, I think
they have a lot of writers who maybe want their chance to write a Supernatural episode, because they never know if it's going to be the last season. So it's this season I want to put my Supernatural episode in. And I think that's how you end up with a lot of these filler episodes. Because even in this one, and I'll bring it up when we go past it, is why aren't we looking at Leviathans right now?
Yeah. I know, because we can get to it in a little bit, but the recap of it felt very plot heavy, and I was wait, this isn't a plot episode. Why is the recap so focused on this?
They're just reminding us what season we're in, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, because I agree. The recap had little to nothing to do with this episode, and in fact didn't even show the bit that it does relate to, which was Dean killing Amy. So I don't understand. I feel like they just needed it to say, yay, you are watching Supernatural.
Yeah, and I mean the bit with the bit with Bobby is relevant, like because they've added a new part of that episode into the recap right now.
Yeah.
But like, it is very strange that they didn't. They showed. I guess we're kind of getting into it, but they showed part of them arguing about Amy, but they don't actually show the killing of Amy. In the
And I
recap.
think that would have been good because it's like a direct parallel in this episode.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't have it in the recap.
Yeah, as we said before we were recording, it's not really a direct parallel. It's not the same. It doesn't hit the same.
You're right. And I have thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to get into it and get into these thoughts and feelings?
Totally. I do.
All right, let's do that then. So we have the recap. The recap was actually quite long as well, and it's probably because there's a filler episode, so there's only so much like material. So they made some of the stuff a bit longer. And so it's Dick Roman shooting at Bobby in the van, and then we are seeing Bobby dying in the hospital. So this is a new bit that they added in, which is Bobby talking with the Reaper and like encouraging him, like, you only have so much time. What's your decision? So at, like the very end of death's door. We then go back to Sam holding Bobby's hand, and then we get them talking about the argument that they had in that other filler episode, which I've with the sisters.
Oh yeah,
the name has escaped me. And where Sam's like, you can't tell me that killing Amy was wrong. And Dean's response of being, well, you couldn't do it, so I did. And then we have a little bit of like the last episode where Dean confesses to what's his name, Elliot.
Yeah.
About like why he doesn't know why he does what he does anymore. Then he's got the really horrendous, like it's just showing the horrendous advice he's been getting from like other people.
Yeah.
Because Frank also goes on to give on his advice, telling him that he should just quit, or if you're not going to quit, make yourself smile until the end of the week and then the end of the month and that kind of stuff. And then we see the absolutely heartbreaking smiles that he tries to do in the car alone at the end of that episode.
Yeah.
Which was...
that's still so good. It's still so good though. It's just such a good like representation of Dean as a character. And I think a lot of that plays into this episode of like Dean masking himself with his Dean mask. I think.
Yes. I think so too. And there's also like I'm not this is not a complaint because we are obviously very big fans of Dean. But Sam's whole plot has just poofed, just disappeared. So like, this feels very, very Dean-centric. And I do feel a little bit bad because like, what Sam is going through is just as bad.
Yeah. We haven't seen Lucifer in a hot minute, right? I've almost forgotten.
From the second episode.
Yeah. So, is he still seeing Lucifer? Like, who knows? Because he's not talking about having his, like, hallucinations and, kind of unsyncing with reality like he was. He just seems to be getting on with it. But I think it's intentional because I feel like we're supposed to be blindsided by what happens to Sam.
I think so too. But as we get closer to what happens to Sam, I'm like, oh... I actually don't like this kind of like jump scare. I don't think it does him justice or the story justice of like, oh, he's just breaking all over again right this second. It's just like, wait, because honestly, I thought season 7 it was a lot of the first and second episode of Sam just like not being able to handle it, but we haven't seen any, like we get a couple of moments where he's like touching his hand.
Yeah.
And like the point that you made in season 7, Time for a Wedding, where like not realizing his reality has been changed by Becky, like they didn't use that which is, I think, a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. I guess that maybe that's one of the issues with having so many writers, because they all have like you're saying, they're all trying to write their episode of Supernatural.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, well, we kind of know the reason because Dean's more interesting. They're all writing about Dean.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I don't actually. I think his should be the B plot, right? We have Sam's issues with Lucifer coming out of the cage. I think that's a major plot point. And then obviously the Leviathans are. And I actually think it's Dean who kind of deserves the B plot in this season. But
right.
It's, yeah. Every time linking it back to Cass as well. They even have the conversation in the car in this episode.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah. I have a lot to say about Dean in this episode. Not so much Sam. I would have liked to have seen just, there's like almost like a hint that he's having to work hard to keep himself under control, you know? Like there's some kind of internal struggle going on. But I'll be honest, I think he just seems fine.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's the one who's looking for cases. He's the one who's like calling out Dean for his behavior, and like, if anything, it's just like some of the quips that he makes at Dean, right? Like, about pointing out his drinking, and then the whole paper moving and stuff like that. But like when they're talking about getting an expert, and so Sam finds somebody, and like Sam is the one working cases. Which
I guess you could argue is like a coping mechanism, you know, that he's putting all of his energy into the cases. But that's what Sam's always done. So it doesn't look any different. But
exactly.
I guess you could use it as like a good lesson on mental health, that, you know, people seem fine and they can still have their same interests and hobbies, and maybe they're not.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. But like, that's such a nuanced conversation that we have to pull out, right? It's not kind of shown.
Supernatural is not equipped for that conversation, you know.
No, it is not.
I feel like they're as hard as they go, it kind of ends on men have feelings too, which is like such a basic concept. But I think that's where Supernatural sometimes ends in their text, not in their subtext, but the text.
Right. The text, what is presented to us, as a cat, maybe not to us specifically, but to the general viewing world, the casual viewer. Yes. So then we get this whole scene of a man who looks like he has quite a nice little place. He goes to sit down, he starts working a little bit, and then he hears like a door open, and he calls out to the person thinking it's someone named Barb. But the intruder is like sort of sneaking along, and then we see this blade come out of nowhere, and he then gets thrown across the room. This whole bit was really disjointing, and like he starts yelling, and there's all this blood everywhere, and you're like, what is going on? And then it zooms out, and there's the guy with no hands, no feet, which they don't. Did they really ever explain? I kind of checked out halfway through this episode, to be fair. Did they actually explain why they take the hands and feet of the people?
No, it's just like a ritual thing.
Isn't it where the little girls get fed that? Is that what that ritual was?
It's not said that's what it is, but I guess you maybe implied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Like I said, I kind of like. I tried to pay attention to the conversations between Sam and Dean and like the more sort of poignant stuff, but overall this episode was just like, okay, it was here for me. And so we never see the person who killed this guy, and then he is dead. The man is dead. Yeah,
he was like brutally murdered. Like it was pretty intense, to be honest.
Yeah, but he probably, because he doesn't, like, they all do as well. Like, they die basically from bleeding out from
It's
having
gross.
their hands and feet cut off.
Yeah, it's pretty intense for a supernatural. I mean, for a supernatural episode, I felt it was quite intense.
Yeah, especially with how like jump cutty it was.
Yeah,
it was a lot. Like, so when it first zoomed out, like from so this is when I first noticed the zoom in, because it zooms in on this guy's face, so like it goes from like a really wide shot all the way to his eyes, and I was like, I mean, this guy is just a guy.
Like, a guy. What is this showing us? I was watching that thinking this must have been really awkward for the actor, because what emotion is he supposed to be displaying while typing on a laptop?
Right, like this work email is so important. I must be bummed. Yeah, right.
It looks like that. It's like intense concentration. But like, if you're actually working, writing a work email, usually like your mouth's slightly open, you're just like,
yeah, right.
Not really thinking about it.
Not the most attractive face that you're making while writing to your whoever.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it was zooming out, I was like, wait, why was there so much blood? It took me a minute to actually catch that he didn't have hands, feet.
Okay. Same.
That's why.
There are some really funny bits in this episode, I will say that, and I will try and point them out as we go, but I don't think they were like intentionally funny. They were just funny to me. One of them is to do with that blood splatter. So, yeah, title card. And then we see Sam and Dean. It's nighttime in the car. Dean is asleep, like snoring, and Sam just looks so annoyed by his snoring. I snore like this, and I know I do because I sometimes make myself look like
yeah, I've done that before.
In the car,
usually on the plane, which is so embarrassing. I hate doing it on a plane.
I know I was snoring on the last plane ride I went on. Like, I know I was. I know it, but it's fine. It's just, you have to. I have allergies, okay? So Dean wakes up. The first thing he does on waking up is take Bobby's flask out of his pocket where he's taken to keeping it and has a drink. Sam comments on it because they have to draw attention to it in this episode because it's important. He's like, I didn't know you kept that. And Dean said, yeah, mine sprung a leak, which I don't think those flasks ever do, actually, because they're made of metal, but okay.
Yeah, but like they get shot at and stuff, so I'm sure it got a stray something or other, right?
Sure. Yeah, that's true, to be fair. So Sam makes a comment that like most people would carry around a photo for a memento. I actually think carrying around a hip flask is a pretty normal thing to do. Like not just like generally, but like a sentimental hip flask. I think that's a fairly normal memento to have of someone.
I think so too. Like, didn't he share that with them in Death's Door? I feel like he did. Not Death's Door. The How to Influence People.
Yeah, I think it definitely has strong sentimental value. It's been through apocalypses with them, so yeah. Fine. I guess it's more a comment on like Dean's drinking that he chose that rather than Bobby's hat. I mean, it would have been funnier if Dean had just started wearing Bobby's hat.
That would have been so good.
I would love that. Why did he do that?
Like, they needed disguises. Like in this episode, again, they are clocked.
Yeah, they are.
Because of course they would be, but admittedly, they are using like their like season 2 photographs, so like they're both super young.
What are they thinking? And yeah, the things they bring up on the computer. But yeah, like this is fine.
Shut up, man. I'm honoring the guy. All right. This is grief therapy, kind of like you and your wild goose chase. Wild goose chase. Yeah.
He's accusing Sam of the case that they're on, that being a distraction from Bobby, and he's also redirecting the drinking issue.
He is. Yep.
So they do this whole exposition on what they're doing, which this felt really unnatural at this point in the episode. I was like, I know you're doing this to explain to me, the audience, where you're going and what you're doing. So Dean, Sam explains the case. 4 guys murdered in 2 weeks, hands and feet cut off, thrown so hard they went through walls. He's like, did you even read the article? Like, what am I having to explain this to you again? It's like, because we're watching now. So Sam makes this excuse for why they're going on this case. He says, Dick Roman's a dead end for now. We might as well. And they're like, stay busy. Like, exactly. So, I do love it in any show, not just Supernatural, they have to like qualify what they're doing because there's clearly other stuff that needs their attention.
Right.
And that's what I miss about network TV, where it's like, oh yeah, we discovered aliens, but like, let's go solve a murder case somewhere, you know?
Yeah. It's because we've got 25 episodes to fill. We can't be finding that aliens every episode.
Exactly right. So they go to this morgue, I guess, but it's in the police station. And as I say, this like corridor forensics guy helps them a lot in this episode.
Yeah, like he's a real good dude, actually. Yeah. I quite liked his character.
I'm glad he didn't get murdered.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. Though there are moments where in helping Sam, I do feel like it's a bit of like men versus women.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you're right, actually. Yeah.
But we'll get there. It's not here. Like when he first starts out and like, yeah, he just seems like a cool kid.
Yeah, he seems quite young, quite enthusiastic. So he shows Sam and Dean. I loved this shot of them like looking down at the body. I don't know, it's just really good. So he's asking, you know, why are they working this late? Because presumably they just rocked up in their car, put their suits on, and like went to go look at this body. And Dean does this whole bit about like working for the FBI, which I loved. He's just like, oh, the hours suck. Yeah. He says, oh, the hours suck, but great benefits package. And the guy's like, really? And he's like, yeah, 10% copay on all drugs. And he's like, oh, just generic, right? And he's like, no, name brands. And Sam's like looking at him like, what are you doing? It's really good. And it just adds like credibility to their story, to be fair. Like, that's a good lie because it's so boring. Yeah. They asked the guy how much the body weighs, and he's like $190, but thrown against the wall so hard it buckled. He says about the hands and feet being cut off while they're still alive, so they wanted him to suffer. They confirm that they're all men, and they have the same, like, there's a sigil that's carved in their chest. It doesn't really look like anything that I can describe. It's sort of, you know, just a sort of upside down U mirrored with some other stuff on it. It doesn't look Greek, I will say that.
Yeah, though to be fair, I don't actually. It looks more like a zodiac. Well, yeah, a zodiac sign.
Yeah, I thought so. Anything. But then that is Greek, isn't it? So maybe we're both wrong.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know where the zodiac came from, so I'm sure.
Oh wait, I don't know about zodiac. I meant more like astronomy. Astronomy is Greek, you know, like there's some history person listening to this like, I hate you both. Why don't you know this?
Yeah, probably. So we apologize for our lack of knowledge, but we don't research before coming into one of these. We just come in with the knowledge that we have.
Yeah, it's brain full of supernatural garbage. So they ask about like DNA, and they're like, you know, yeah, loads. You know, one guy had a chunk of flesh in his teeth, but we can identify it and, you know, match it to anybody. So he shows them on the computer to prove this, and I can confirm that. It looks like DNA data. I don't know. I feel like it'd be more numerical these days.
I have no idea.
Oh, it's fine. So it doesn't match anything. And they're like, anybody in the database? And he's like, no, anything human. And Dean just says, I made a note here. I was like, Sam, why do you look surprised? He makes this face like shocked, like, and I'm like, you were expecting this? Why are you looking surprised?
Yeah, like, I mean, is that to imply that like vampires and werewolves and things like that actually have like human DNA?
They do, I think. I think they do because they started out as humans, usually.
I guess so. I'm sure they've done an episode where they've taken the blood of something and figured out that, right? I don't know.
Well, they normally confirm vampires by like just doing that thing and like pressing their gums.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I assume that if they had a lot, because they do have quite a few dead vampires, and someone would have made a comment on it at some point if they hadn't been clocked as human. And I feel like they do. I feel like they do go through the system because they're like, oh, this is so and so, and they went missing like this many years ago or whatever. I'm sure at some point.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. So yeah. Anyway, they go out finding that they have a monster because that's what you do, guys. And so as they're walking out, Dean says like,
I'll admit, it could be in the general vicinity of the ballpark of our kind of thing.
Yeah, didn't imagine anything human usually seals the deal for me.
and again I was like, so why did he look surprised?
Yeah, right.
He says that he's never. Oh, sorry.
He was acting for the guy, right? He was acting for the forensics guy.
He wasn't looking at him. He was looking at the computer screen.
Well, in case he gets caught of being like, yes, that makes sense, rather than like, oh no.
Fine, I guess. So yeah, Sam explains he hasn't seen the symbol before, and then he's like, let's go get a bite to eat. Like, go back to the motel, haul out the laptop. And he's like, sure. But what I'm going to do is like, I'll go undercover and mingle amongst the locals and see what kind of clues bubble to the surface. And Sam just sort of deadpans like, you're going to a bar. He's like, wow, if you want to oversimplify it.
That's such a good line. And such good delivery too.
I love it so much. So they split up and, right, this place that Dean ends up does not feel like a Dean bar when he's doing his Dean self.
Mm-mm.
Maybe he specifically went here because he's looking to pick up women, but I still didn't get that vibe when he was walking off from Sam.
I think, well, so he, like you said, he walks off, so he's only in his suit, so he can't really go to, well, I mean, you can go to a dive bar, but maybe he was like, I don't know, because there's a comment that was made that like, this place is a really good place to pick up women.
Yeah, so maybe that's why.
But like, he hasn't wanted to do that though. I'm surprised he went through with it, to be honest.
This is what I was saying. He's putting the Dean mask back on because that's what Frank told him to do. And who is Dean Winchester? He's a womanizing, beer drinking, all American boy.
Yeah. I mean, that was the speech that he gave at the beginning of the season, right? I'm Dean Winchester. This is the thing I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this was it. I think this is him trying to get back on his game, and smile through the pain. Yep. So this place is called the Cobalt Room Bar, and I mean it is blue. It kind of makes sense with the name.
Yeah.
One thing I clocked, and then I was really happy to confirm, is that the music that they're playing in this bar is loud and swaying, and I recognised it was Rob Benedict's voice. Like I was like, I know that voice. I knew it was him. I was so proud.
They hadn't forgotten about him at this point. They were like, oh wait.
Yeah. But this is one of 3 instances I think they use their songs. I mean, fair enough. It's a good band. And it fits really well with this whole scene. So Dean's met up with this woman. They're having a chat and talking about like the previous date that she went on. Apparently they went to see a movie and it was like The Human Centipede, which is like the worst movie to see on a date.
Yeah, like why would you even?
Why would you even do that? It's sociopath behavior. So, Dean's like, dating sucks. And she's like, yeah, I don't see myself settling down anytime soon. And he's interested. He's like, well, that's not something you hear every day. And they kind of talk about commitment. She asks if he's ready for the big commit. And he like laughs and then says, not exactly. And I'm like, you're thinking about Lisa.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flirty banter between them. So she comments on his suit and he lies about being an investment banker. And she's like, oh, that sounds boring, essentially. And he kind of also implies that he's made a lot of money because he says like, I've had a fortunate year, and they toast to that. She says, may you have many more, which, considering what she knows she's going to do, is like a bit ironic.
Yeah. Yep. It was kind of funny. This is when it starts to get zoomed in to their faces and like different parts of their faces. I guess with what you were saying about Kim Manners, I was just trying to think as to why I liked it with him, like Kim Manners, and not this.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the way it's used. And I don't think, again, this style of editing is very quick. So it's just like, it's like shots of his eyes and shots of his mouth and then shots of her mouth and eyes. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to do. Like when you're good, like when you have a little crush on somebody, you're looking at their eyes, you're looking at their mouth so that you can like, you know, initiate something. But I don't feel like it was there. Like there was some tension between them, like sexual tension, but I don't know. It still didn't. I guess because of Dean's mask, like it's not natural to him. So it's just like it's a little forced. And so is she. She doesn't want to do this. She knows this is a mission for her.
Yeah, they're two people going through the motions of like social convention, and I think. Maybe that's what this, like, yeah, I agree with the editing. It was kind of strange because it didn't seem uncomfortable, but like there wasn't chemistry. So yeah, it's
and there never would be.
So the last kind of joke of this section is they toast and then Dean says arigato and she's like, you speak Japanese? And he goes, enough to get by. Like, all your Japanese, you know, from anime, Dean. That's not enough to get by.
I thought that is the same thing I made a comment on. I was like, what a thing to point out that he watches enough anime to know Japanese.
Yeah. He definitely does not.
No.
So this section, I'm going to kind of like breeze through it, but I want to talk about it a little bit. I just wrote, this is sex and violence, right? Because they intersperse Dean and this woman who turns out to be Lydia, I think it's Lydia, go back to her apartment or her place and have sex. But the whole sequence is interspersed between another man having his apartment. He initially greets them in, but getting brutally murdered, like between the scenes. Which I just thought was really interesting how they did it. Because there were points, although the lighting was different, you're right, like the violent bit was warm and the like sexual bit was very cold. I think maybe like business transactional almost. There were points where you like can't differentiate which scene you're in, which I thought was really interesting as well. Yeah,
that's true.
To show the kind of, I guess, physicality of murdering someone versus like sex. But I think because of who Lydia is, I think what it's trying to say is like she is kind of murdering him with this act because she knows what's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, she had to do it, right? She had to murder her father.
Yeah, that's true.
To get where she's at.
Yeah. I think there's two comments I can make on this. So, first of all, both the scenes are men being almost overpowered by women. One is a murder, and the other one is like she's on top. And like Dean is quite submissive to her. There's like a whole moment of like the hand motion of her like pinning him down with their hands interlaced, which I thought was quite interesting. So I think it's showing their like dominance in this situation, the women in the episode. But then I feel like their overall structure as a society is like, I've always thought there's a comment on Amazons of like, how could you possibly cope without men, right?
Yeah.
And the only way they can cope without men is by being violent. But that's like almost a comment on men rather than women. That's my feminist take on this.
That's the problem with men writing women, right?
Yeah.
They think that women think the same way men do, or they're trying to think like the same way that men do, which is I'll get what I want through violence, which is not accurate.
And also, the only way like an all-women society could exist is by being more like men.
Mm-hmm.
Who again with the violence and the being on top and yeah, there's just something there, and I don't know enough about feminist theory to make a good comment on it. I'm sure I'm hoping there's someone maybe who can make a better point than I do, but there is definitely something there, and I don't think it's necessarily there in like the original Amazon mythology. I'm not sure. I feel like it's been taken. There's a Wonder Woman reference made in this as well.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting is that, the only way that women could possibly exist without men is by becoming more male, more men-like.
Right, and that I don't think that really happens.
No, I don't know. So, yeah, I thought this was probably the best scene of the episode, I think, just because of the commentary that it made.
Yeah.
And also that we haven't had a good sex scene in Supernatural for a while.
This is true. Is Lisa the only woman they really respect in this show? Because I don't think there was ever a sex scene between Lisa and Dean. Right?
No, was there not one when he was like, but it was a dream?
Was it a dream? Okay.
I don't know. I can't remember. Or it might not even been like a thing. It might just been like a implied. Yeah. So we get to the end of this. Everyone's had a good time apart from the guy who was getting brutally murdered. Sorry, my dude.
Yep.
And we then cut to it's daytime. And Sam and Dean are walking across the street. And Dean's like, oh man, like I had such a hard night.
It's another "you look like crap" comment, but like he doesn't.
No, he looks fine.
He looks absolutely fine. Like his shirt isn't even rumpled.
No.
Like the way he took it off, that was not pressed. No.
Not at all.
Nope.
And like he makes the point, he could have kept this to himself, but no. He like implies to Sam that's what he was up to last night. He's like,
I do recommend the Cobalt Room, by the way. Awesome night. Although I think I'm getting too old for this.
And so I don't know. I guess Sam knew anyway because he was probably out all night, but like... Yeah. So they talk about the symbol, and Sam says, we're going to need an expert. And Dean's like, our expert's dead, which he says it really sort of offhandedly, but I felt it in my heart.
Yeah.
They go to this apartment building, presumably the one from the night before, and they're allowed in.
Yeah.
The room that they go into is a scene. Like there is blood up the walls, like floor, the guy is dead. And Dean says, nice decor, very early slaughterhouse. So they introduce this other detective, presumably she's a detective, called Charlene, and said that she's the lead on this case. She's like a blonde woman. I recognise her from something else, but I can't think what.
I did not recognise her, but
yeah. So they talk about the case. It's exactly the same as before. No full century, thrown across the room, hands and feet cut off. Same symbol. The forensics guy says, whoever the killer is, this guy is a monster. Automatically assuming that the killer is a man.
I mean, to be fair, this monster is throwing grown men across the room. I think that's okay to assume that it's a man.
I know.
But assumptions get you killed, so...
They do. We just have some real strong lady. I mean, we do.
Yeah.
That's the whole plot point of this.
Yeah.
So Dean says, this guy's just like the last one. Early 30s, decent looking. Like you're describing yourself, my guy.
Yeah. Yep.
And it says, fairly successful, no known enemies. And in the background, you can see this kind of person talking to the police officer at the door. And I was like, he's going to be important. And then
he's not.
He's not really, but Sam goes to talk to him. And I just thought this was so funny because the door is open, right? Inside, there is blood splattered up the walls. And Sam says to him, he's like, oh, I'm trying to find out what happened to my neighbour. And Sam says to him, I'm sorry, someone killed him last night. And I'm like, no shit, Sam.
Right? There are police officers everywhere. You've just let this neighbor who is 2 doors down, by the way. It's not even across. He had to cross police tape to walk up. Like, what?
He can see inside the room.
Yep. He's in the room with you. Like, come on.
And I was like, I'm sorry. He's dead. It's like, yes, I gathered.
The guy seems so unbothered too. He's just like, yeah, he was a nice guy.
I would be freaking out. Like,
I would probably throw up, to be honest. In real life, I would be throwing up.
Because you know that place like smells as well, right?
Yeah.
Like that irony smell of like, and he's just there. He's like, oh yeah, what happened?
Let me have a look. What's going on?
I'd be like going to stay at a hotel for a few nights or something. You know, that's the kind of safe I would feel.
As in, not at all.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe this is not. It's not. But maybe it's another commentary of like, well, men don't feel afraid when other men die.
Literally faced with the violent death of his neighbour, and he's like, oh, you know, this happens all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's here to give us some clues. So he says, you know, he's a nice guy, but his wife wasn't happy with him because he'd recently cheated on her, a one-night thing, and she took off. But, like, she wouldn't kill him. And Sam's like, okay, thanks. And that was pretty much it.
Yep.
So Sam goes back and explains all of that to Dean again. And Dean says,
Yeah, but we're not thinking it's the wife. Not unless she benches 350 and did the other guys as a warm-up.
Dean then, like, reaches for his flask inside his jacket, and he's like, oh, darn, I left it at Lydia's. I do have one question. Do you think Dean left the flask on purpose to go see Lydia again while they were in this town? Or do you think the flask left itself there?
You know, now that you've said it, I think the flask left itself there. With how much it helped, it helped in this case. Because without Dean going back, he wouldn't have known any of this stuff was going to happen. Yeah. Yes.
Does that also mean that Ghost Bobby had to, like, witness, like, Dean getting it on with Lydia? Poor Ghost Bobby.
Well, I think he can turn around, go into a different part of the room. Honestly, like, Bobby's caught Dean. Let's be real. Sam has walked in on them a few times. Like, I feel like it's slightly different with Bobby because he is their dad, right? Yeah. But at the same time, he's like their cool dad. So I think he wouldn't really care all that much.
I like to think he just, like, hangs out in the bottle like a genie.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of weird though, because every time you take to drink, oh, better not go. Hanging on the inside.
Got a little bit of Bobby. So he has to go get his flask. Whether he left it there or not is another story. He takes out his cell phone and Sam's like, oh, you know, you got her name, but now you're going to call her? Like, this isn't you. You don't know women's names. So I guess this is kind of a change in Dean, maybe since Lisa. Maybe he drank some more, like, respect women juice since, you know, seeing her for a year. Like, I don't know.
But then he also makes this comment of, like, they always give you their number.
That's so true. He does say that. So, I mean, I don't necessarily think she did. I don't know if she did. Would she care? Maybe just to track him down. Maybe she'd got his number to track him down.
Right, to track his cell phone. Oh, no, but he calls her.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know. There's two plot holes with this. First of all, why would she take him back to her apartment? I know that he's going to die in a few days, but surely, you know, if they are the type of guys who, like, just turn up and then find that you're, like, pregnant the next day, that's a massive red flag. Maybe it's just overconfidence, possibly.
Yeah. I guess that was the whole point of that initial conversation, though, isn't it? It's like, I'm not looking for commitment. I'm looking for one night.
That's so
they
true.
don't expect them to show up again.
Yeah.
Which is why she's kind of confused at, like, why. But, like, maybe it's part of playing the part of, well, to entice this guy, let me give him my number or whatever.
Fair enough. It just reminds me of there used to be a bit on this like radio show in the UK, they probably do in America too, where if someone was like coming on to you and they were being really insistent about your phone number, you could give them this fake phone number instead. But what it would do is like leave a message on the answering machine of the radio station, and then they'd like play those messages. I can't remember. It was called like Cool Divert. No, it was called Flirt Divert. How have I pulled that out of nowhere?
So do they actually play some of the messages?
Yeah, they used to play them.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they get them from people and play the, I guess, the ones that were safe for work, because this is like a daytime radio show. I don't know, I'd have to pull some out. This is like old archive stuff in my brain. But yeah, so why not just do that? Give him a fake number, man. Like, anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's overconfidence. So yeah, she's super confused why he's ringing, and she's very like on the phone, not having it. She doesn't seem interested in him at all. No. So, because he asks about the flask, he's like, oh, it has sentimental value. Have you seen it? And she's like, no, but if I do, I'll call. And he asks if she wants his number, and he's like, oh, my cell phone has it now. Like, go, I gotta go. And just puts the phone down on Dean. And then it pans out on her, because all this phone call, she's just been from the shoulders up. And as it pans out, she's got like a huge pregnancy belly. Like, she looks about like 7-8 months pregnant. You're like, damn.
In the span of like 20 minutes.
Yeah. How has it been? It's still the morning, right? It's still the morning.
Yeah. They literally just left the crime scene. They were there maybe an hour.
Yeah. So, wow. Ouch.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you think Dean would have paid enough attention to realize that she was getting pregnant as he was leaving?
No.
No. But that'd be so funny.
Yeah.
Just like wake up and be like, whoa, you're like 6 months pregnant right now.
Yeah.
Like, got a little bit of a baby bump going on. So this next scene, I've started to watch The Handmaid's Tale, like finally, after all these years. Because I was watching it while my hair was getting braided. So we watched like a few episodes. And this whole bit reminded me of like when they're preparing for Offred June to get like have her baby.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, just like she's in a room in a candlelit room. All these women are surrounding her, and there's this one like matriarchal person who's trying to coach her through how to give birth.
Yeah.
She says the pain is an honor. It's like, oh, no, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. But they're all like warrior women, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's a whole thing.
But like, yeah.
It's very Scientology.
Yes. Like, I do appreciate Charlene, because she turns out to be one of them, and like she's the most competent police officer we've actually seen in the show.
Yeah,
she like asked the right question. Yeah. But like I would have liked to have seen some of the other women. Like so she gives birth to the baby, and they decide to they collectively call her Emma. And then it cuts to a professor. And I kind of wish it was one of them, but I understand why it couldn't have been, because it could have been a mistranslation. Like, they're not going to give away their secrets to these two random people. So I understand, but like, I do kind of wish like we would have seen more of these women who have like just being in like higher positions rather than just Charlene. But there you go.
Because the assumption is they're everywhere, right? They're trying to repopulate, so they are just sort of everywhere and then infiltrating high level positions to keep their secrets. Like, that's an interesting story in and of itself.
They really missed out an opportunity with these people, and that, obviously because it's a filler episode, they're never mentioned again, because like they're like, oh, we can come after them in 2 years once they pop back up. I know I'm getting really far ahead in this episode, but here we are. But like, you are faced with this happens every time though, right?
So
the
true.
Same with the witches but like, these are really powerful people, and you've got Leviathan who are running around rampant, like who, like, I feel like there could have been an Amazonian at the same level as Dick.
Right.
They could have butt heads and like, but Supernatural is not about making alliances like that.
It's not.
At least not yet, anyway.
It's about going it alone and being badass while you're doing it. It's very lone. It is very lone wolf, isn't it? Like the whole idea of Supernatural. Really, I know they've got each other, but they really don't. They really don't work. They don't play well with others, I think, is the main thing. I mean, those others usually end up dead, to be fair. Right,
I was going to say, like, every other is gone at the end of the whole series, to be honest. Yeah. So, yes, they go to a professor of anthropology who they're trying to get some information about this symbol. And he's like, well, it will take me, like, I need payment, basically, from the FBI. And they're both Sam and Dean are like,
The respect of a grateful nation. And a good word with the IRS.
Did they research the professor before going after him, realizing he's a corrupt man? Or did they just assume that he is?
I think it's the assumption that he is, because he just, I mean, most people, I feel like a lot of people would do it for the love of the research, right? But the fact that he's asking for money is making him seem skeezy.
I guess so. Yeah.
But my personal opinion is people should get paid for research, whether it's their passion or not. So I'm with this guy.
I mean, that is honestly, they should pay him for sure, but they have no money, so they're not going to do that.
That's also true. That is also true.
They are not actually the FBI. They have no funds. They need this stuff quick, and they need it like done now. Because he's like, oh yeah, you know, this will require quite some research, because he kind of knows what the symbol, a corrupted version of a symbol. And Sam's like, great, well, I guess we'll be seeing you tomorrow. He's like, tomorrow? I spent entire sabbaticals on this project, on a project like this. It's like, Dean then steps in and says, Professor, we have a serial killer on our hands. And then Sam just goes, your government needs you, sir. And then his response is, gentlemen, my housekeeper needs a green card. Like, they just, at the end of this episode, they just drive away. And like, this guy, they don't pay him.
Nope.
They don't get put a good word in for the IRS. And his housekeeper will not be getting a green card. Like, everything that... Or do they get Frank to do it?
Oh, maybe.
Does Frank do... Maybe. But then, like, definitely. He's not real.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know.
Like, I feel like you need to kind of keep these guys sweet, because how many research professors are you going to find in the country that are going to look at this stuff for you? Exactly.
And who... Because anthropology is like a massive field. Like, you can focus in on so many different things. So, like, what if they need another Greek anthropologist? They can't go back to him now.
I feel like they just need to get better at using Google, to be honest.
They do. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, to be fair, they didn't have like Google image search yet, really.
Yeah, that's true.
In the same way that we have do now.
Yeah.
Like, where you can just upload a picture, but yeah. Dean is not impressed. He's like, good God, where did you find this guy? And Sam says, well, he's supposed to be the top expert in his field. And Dean is really against the idea of using like just a regular anthropologist, but they've used people like this before.
Yeah.
So it's like
before they properly introduced Bobby, they used to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it's just like, all right, I guess maybe like they would take whatever they get from the professor and take it to Bobby. Yeah. And then he would look into like the things that go bump in the night, as he says. So Sam's like, so what are we supposed to do? Like, just spin our wheels? And Dean says, Sam, this is us spinning our wheels. Sam stops Dean from walking away and just says, you know what? I want to call him too, okay? Believe me, but Bobby's not here, so we're settling.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, sure we are. We sure are, even. Dean's getting more concerned because Lydia hasn't returned his phone call. And Sam just like rubbing it more in his face. It's like, you know, some girl's actually dumping you after the morning after. And Dean just says, I think you're enjoying this a little too much, more than you need to. And he just decides he's going to go over there and get the flask.
Yeah.
Luckily, Lydia has had her baby, so she, he's not turning up and she's heavily pregnant still. She answers the door and goes, Don. He's like, Dean.
Ooh, ouch.
How many times has he done that though, right?
Right, exactly.
And he's like, you haven't gotten my messages? And he's like, no, I did, but I've just been busy. And he goes on to explain that he's there for the flask.
I found it. So beat up and old, I almost tossed it.
Yeah, the guy I belonged to was beat up and old too, but I was very close with him, and I'd hate to lose it.
I'll get it for you.
She made the mistake of leaving the door open.
Right, don't do that. We don't know, because, he just comes in.
He does. He just, she doesn't invite him in or anything. He just takes the step into that. I mean, fine, you were there the night before, but you can revoke consent for anybody coming into your spaces.
Totally can. Yes, you can.
So you gotta wait for that invitation, Dean. Be a vampire.
Yeah.
Dean tries to initiate a conversation. He's like, so how have you been, other than busy? And she's just like, just that, busy. And hands over the flask. And then then Dean notices there's like a 2-year-old in a crib.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, wow, yeah, I can see you're busy. You're babysitting. She's like, no. And yeah, she's mine. And Dean's like, well, you didn't tell me you had a little girl. And she's like, well, yeah, there's probably a lot of things I didn't tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think it's really quite sweet how Dean actually wants to get to know this part, because he could have literally just taken it and just left.
Yeah.
Obviously this is all for plot and everything. That's why he kind of lingers for a minute, but we also know that Dean is generally good with children.
Yeah.
So when he sees children, he wants to know about them.
He makes a comment later on about how he didn't notice that she had any kids stuff. So how could he have known that she had a kid? To Sam, and I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't have had a problem with it. You would have still slept with her even if you knew she was a mother.
Yeah, because that doesn't affect him because of
Yeah.
Lisa and Ben.
Right. So he was making out like it would be an issue, but we know, Dean. We know you're a secret good guy. I know you like to put on the mask of yeah, I'm a bad boy, looking out for red flags and women. You don't care. We know.
Yeah. Yep. He makes a quote unquote funny comment because he's like, well, I've heard they grow like weeds, and she's like, you have no idea. Dean's phone rings and he's like, oh, I gotta take this, but still doesn't leave her house. Is he waiting for round 2?
What?
I think he's waiting for round 2.
My guy, my dude, her child is awake. That's not happening.
No, right? It's Sam on the phone, obviously. It's like, hey, where are you? It's it's a flask, not the Holy Grail, which, to be fair, that's the same for Dean.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm a people person. I'm engaging in some social skills. Yeah, he's trying to get round 2. He's trying to get round 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Sam is basically on the phone saying, look, hurry up. We got to go to the crime lab. But as he's on the phone, as Dean's on the phone, he hears, in the other room, Emma speaking as I speak to you now.
Yes.
Very, very clearly, not a 2-year-old speaking, but someone who's maybe 7 or 8, very clearly. And she says, Mum, get me out. And Lydia's like, shh, just a minute, don't talk. Because Dean then hangs up the phone because he's like, what is that?
Yeah.
And he kind of leans up against the wall to hear more, and he hears more of their conversation. See, this kind of plays in well into the last scene of this episode, because Emma's asking who is that, and does she have more of Dean in her than she realizes?
Yeah.
And no, she does not. Because I mean, would Lydia explain who that really was? Probably not. I don't know. So Sam leaves and goes to the crime lab and meets up with the guy, which we don't actually get his name. His name's Eddie?
I don't know his name.
No, Eddie's... No, yeah, his name's Eddie.
Okay.
Yeah. The guy's name is Eddie. And like, again, just looking at the person, and he's got like plaster lodged into his skull, which I think is funny because they don't use plaster here, but maybe it's in an older town. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then so this is when Charlene comes in. It's like, what triggered the Fed's involvement in this case? Like, yes. Why hasn't it, like, not often do they get asked this question, and like Sam can't think of an answer. So this is where I'm saying, like, this is like men against women, because Eddie jumps in. It's like, I just figured, okay, never mind. He called them. Eddie called them.
Yeah.
Or somebody, because he's like, I figured it's just, you know, some of the similarities to other cold cases. If it's the same killer, he crossed state lines, and that would bring you in. And Sam's like, oh yeah, thanks for the save, man.
Yeah. Like, he knows their procedure. I think Eddie's a bit of a like crime nerd, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's good, but he definitely should not have been doing that. That's not really kosher. He should have waited for Sam to answer, because he doesn't necessarily know that.
True. Yeah, like, wouldn't that like ping in your brain that like the lead detective is like, why are the feds here?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I did something. It's like,
no, I don't think he did. He didn't do anything. He just knows because it crossed state lines, that it might bring the FBI's interest to the case. So he's just assuming that's why they're here. So he doesn't know at all. He's just being overly eager, and trying to show off his knowledge.
Maybe he wants to be FBI, especially after that conversation with Dean. Getting 10% off.
I think he was trying to be like, hey, give me a job offer.
Yeah. Charlie is just like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, just wrap this up. You know, your case isn't the only one we're working on. This is when they learn that about the cold cases, because they didn't know about them before. And he asked for a copy of the case files. Sam then picks up a receipt that's in an evidence bag, and it's from the Cobalt room. And Eddie's just like, yeah, it's pretty well known. Looking for a hookup is a pretty place to go. Good place to go. And Sam's just like, I've heard. 2 of the victims have gone there. And it's just like, okay, why did you not make that connection before?
Like, this whole thing, it takes them so long to figure out that Dean's in danger.
Yes.
Okay, it's way too long, considering all the things that are lining up. It's ridiculous.
Yep. And you would think that the security guard like sees one of the victims leave with a girl, and then 2 days later he's dead. And then it was same with somebody else. Yeah. And so the same thing happened in Chicago. I actually don't know which town this is in. I can't remember if it told you or not. But
I don't think it tells us. Just assuming it's not Chicago, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. So Dean is still outside of Lydia's house, watching the house across the street, and a car with some of the women who were there when she gave birth goes to the house, and she asks if Emma is ready. Yeah. Sam is calling Dean, and was like, you never showed up. He's like, I'm still outside Lydia's house. He's like, what are you, obsessed or something?
I'm telling you, I have been eating at the buffet of strange all afternoon.
I do love that line. That's a really good line.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll tell you when I know something, but something isn't right. And Sam's just like, okay, you're obsessed. He's like, no, I'm serious. And Sam's like, okay, well, do you need backup? He's like, not yet. And he asks about what's going on with them. And he then tells Dean about the fact that this has happened every sort of 2 years, once in Chicago, then again in Miami. And before that, so all the victims were young, successful. A lot of them went to the same bar. It lines up. And then the trail always went cold fast.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he doesn't say, like, get this.
Yeah, right.
He just says, oh, by the way.
As a personal kicker, here, at least some of the Vics hooked up in that bar you went to, the Cobalt room.
Again, we're like way over halfway in the episode, and like now is only the time that they're making the connection. Sam even says here, like, look, you've dodged a bullet. I was like, have you though? Because the woman that you just saw is now leaving the house with a small child who's maybe 7, 10 years old. And like she gets carted away and he like follows them.
Yeah. Like, I'm surprised that Dean on the phone at that point to Sam didn't say like, oh yeah, well the woman I hooked up from that bar, something weird's going on. Like, just tell him now.
Exactly.
Mind.
They had to have this conversation in person, right? And that's why, because it's literally the next thing that they're back at the hotel, which they've gone back to being in hotels now. Are they clear of like not having their credit cards and stuff tracked?
I'm so confused about where this episode is, because it's one point they like go back to the house, they got all the books, so I've got no idea what's going on, where they are, who they're talking to.
I think they carry the books around.
But like, where's maybe. Where's the professor? Why is it the professor in this specific branch of research happens to be local to you? I don't know. I don't understand where this episode is happening. That's all I'm saying.
Everywhere. Everywhere all the time. So Sam's like in disbelief. He's like, so what? You mean she had another kid and he didn't tell you? He's like, nope, just the one, Emma. But that night when I was with her, she didn't have any. I was at her place, man. There were no playpens, no blankets, no rubber ducks. Does that imply that they had shower sex?
Yeah.
Sam's like, yeah, because you're focusing on that kind of thing. And he's like, dude, that's the first thing you notice. Red flags. That's not a red flag. Yeah. Come on. No. Okay. All of this I kind of just like wasn't really paying attention to, to be fair. Because I was just like, yeah, okay, we've already established this on screen. So like, why are we going through this again?
I know.
And so like, Sam makes the suggestion that, you know, maybe all of our kids are named Emma because, you know, like George Foreman named all his sons George. Like, that's such a man thing to do. Anyway.
Yeah.
Though that makes me laugh because he was in Gilmore Girls, which is the one example where the mom and the daughter have the same name.
That's so true. That's really funny.
Are you deliberately messing with me? Dude, I know weird, okay? There is no non-weird explanation for this.
Sam finds this whole situation just really amusing from the get-go. We're like, it's not really that amusing.
Yeah, I guess because he doesn't, like, he hasn't been presented with what it could be. So he's just like, Dean's just being crazy. Like, he was drunk, way too drunk to really realize that this woman had multiple children. And like, now he's trying to say that it's something that it's not. Even though you just saw like a group of women take a child away.
Well, they don't know yet that it's Amazons, do they? So maybe she's just in some kind of weird, like, cult.
Yeah. True. Did they ever come across cults? I feel like they should have.
I honestly don't remember. Probably.
Yeah. So Sam's phone then rings and it's the professor. And he's like, oh good, the professor. Yeah, I'm sure he'll crack this wide open. Which he actually does.
Yeah.
So like, we're then back in the same sort of place where Emma was born, and there's a whole line of girls, and they have like a glass of milk and something, and they're like about to go through some sort of ritual of some kind, and the woman says, this is a tribute to the ones who created and protects us. So it's not the fathers.
Yeah.
It's like the communion in Christianity.
Yeah.
It's symbolic. We hunt for her, we kill for her, and now we consume that kill as a symbol of unity with those who have completed their blood missions and furthered the line of the tribe.
You were right then. They're bits of the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. Oh. Which is, yeah. Emma like seems to hesitate.
Yeah.
And the woman stands in front of her and says, go ahead, Emma, you need to eat. All like, again, this is, I feel like, because we've now seen 6.5 seasons of Dean, and we know Dean's not one to take instructions from authority.
Yeah.
Especially in a ritual place. I feel like it was supposed to be like making a point of like, yeah, she's definitely Dean's daughter, and like, she's gonna rebel against the system because that's what Daddy did. You know.
I thought this too. They're definitely leaning on this heavily through this episode, and even more so later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're like supposed to think, oh yeah, you know. I think they did a pretty good job casting Emma. Like, I feel like she could be his kid. Like, I think that like they did a pretty good job of lining up the facial features for this, you know.
Supernatural's really good at that kind of thing, though, aren't they?
I know, like, Alex Calver is still some kind of like medical. I think they cloned him. I honestly think they grew him in a lab. That's my conspiracy theory. That's my tinfoil hat theory. They cloned Misha Collins just for supernatural acting purposes.
Yep.
That's that big network TV money. That's what it goes on.
Yeah.
Cloning actors.
It definitely is. That Hollywood, you know, cabals that they have.
Yeah. Or maybe he's a robot. No, I don't think he's a robot. He's definitely a clone. Wild. I genuinely, like, not even in a kind of creepy way, just for like actual curiosity, I kind of want to see what Alex Calver's parents look like, because I'm like, he looks so much like Misha. Like, I don't know, it's just wild, that casting. It's just crazy. Yeah, I mean, this wasn't as good, but it's still pretty good, you know, considering they have to like go look for someone who looks like it could be related to someone else. Yeah,
I mean, another example is young Sam.
Yeah.
Like, looks exactly like him.
exactly like him. Yeah. So they go to this professor and he's giving a lecture. I love this. I don't know why. I just thought it was real great. I like the comparison, I think, between this professor and Bobby, whereas Bobby would have rang them up and be like, idiots, it's Amazons. This is how you kill them. This guy puts on like a whole production of somewhat useful information.
I mean, he's a research person, so like, of course, he's gonna make a little PowerPoint.
Yeah, I would make a PowerPoint, to be fair. I would do that. So it's all about the symbol. He said, you know, this was hard. Like, lesser scholars would have crumbled. And Sam's kind of like,
Okay, patting yourself on the back.
yeah, can you just get on with it? And he said it was difficult to identify, but he found it on a building, on the temple of the goddess Harmonia. I could have sworn that this was going to be Artemis. Like, I thought they would have linked it to Artemis. I don't know enough about Greek myth.
No, neither do I.
So he's like, oh, the coupling of Harmonia and Ares, the god of war, produced the Amazons. That might be right, to be fair. And Dean says, like Wonder Woman. And the professor's like, no, you know, they actually existed. The comic books are just silly perversions. And he shows this like pot with the symbols on, showing pictographs, paying homage to Harmonia. It's an exclusively female culture, no use for men whatsoever except procreation. And Sam's like, yeah, and all the victims were men. It's like, yeah, this was the episode of like Sam just saying things, just stating stuff that we knew. So yeah, they're talking about like the Amazons. The pictographs are meant to pay homage to Harmonia. So that's why that symbol is carved into their chests. It's like their goddess. Mm-hmm. And Sam says about their hands and feet being cut off, and the professor's like, oh, that is interesting. Because apparently in the mythology, after the women were impregnated by men, they killed them, first cutting off certain body parts. So it all lines up. They're Amazons, almost definitely.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Charlene at the police station, and she's on the phone. She's got open on her screen a picture of Sam and Dean, their mugshots from when they were arrested ages ago.
Ages.
And she's like, oh, I couldn't check their IDs because everything they have is fake. Like, I've been digging for hours. The one thing's for sure, they aren't FBI. And it cuts to the leader, like the woman in the black jacket who was there at the birth and at the house, talking to her. She's like, who are they? She's like, they're after us is what they are. She mentions, like, she says about the cross-country murder spree The Crazy Brothers went on a couple months ago, and she's like, it barely scratches the surface. They're thugs. And vigilantes, but we've dealt with hunters before like this. So the leader's like, well, one is already scheduled to be taken care of, and we'll simply add the other one to the agenda. So again, they're pretty confident they could take them out.
Mm-hmm.
Back at the hotel, they're looking through boxes of Bobby's books. And Dean's a bit frustrated. He's like, oh, I know he's got a Grecian encyclopedia here somewhere. But would it kill him to have a system? And Sam says, he has a system. The files are set up like his brain. Which maybe is why Sam is a bit better at finding things than Dean is, which is begs the question why he's not looking through the books.
That's true. He thinks he can find it on his laptop.
Yeah, that's true. He's a whiz kid getting into the 21st century. Dean takes his flask out of his pocket and has a drink, and asks Sam if he has anything. And
Yeah. There's this whole crazy side to Amazon lore that Professor Morrison didn't even mention.
It's because he doesn't believe in it, which is a real handicap when you're trying to deal with it.
He explains all the backstory. They had a long war, the Amazons. Their population was decimated. They made a bargain with Harmonia to replenish their ranks and make them stronger. So Dean's like, well, they're definitely stronger because they're throwing people through walls. And he's like, yeah. Harmonia turned them into monsters. Dean asks how you kill them, but they're not really sure. They can't figure it out from the research that they're doing.
Yeah.
And Sam goes on to say, like, one of the things they have is that they reproduce quickly, as in they gave birth within 36 hours. And Dean's like, what? He says, like, the babies grew incredibly fast, and then the aging process becomes normal, which is one way to make an army, that you, like, get them all to adulthood really quickly, and then they're ready to fight for you. And they send all the women out who have reached childbearing age every 2 years. So it all comes together and like, what is happening? They're going out to have babies every 2 years.
Yeah.
And then Dean kind of like puts his book down. He's like, they all hooked up in the same bar I met Lilia. And Sam's like, yep. And he's like, and then she has a kid, like in fruit fly time. And that baby turns into a little girl. And Sam says like, maybe you're, and he's like, don't say it. I don't think he could take being called a dad.
No.
Nope. Too much baggage there.
Too much. He's already had the responsibility of a child. He doesn't want a responsibility of his own child. Again.
Yeah. And Sam says, look at that kid's yours. And he's like, oh, don't say it. Sam then like kind of tells him off. He's like, look, a one night stand and you're just going to like roll the dice. Like kind of insinuating that he didn't use any protection.
Yep.
And Dean's like, no, I did. He goes, accidents happen, but even if it did, and I don't think it. And he does this whole like flick of emotions where he's going through what happened that night. Because it's like frowning, yep. Like, huh. Frowning. And he's like, no, we're not going to talk about this anymore. Like, my skin's starting to crawl. So Sam's like, okay, but if it has happened, he's like, okay, yeah, I got to stop myself from getting my hands and feet cut off.
Yep.
And he takes another drink. I feel like if the Amazons were setting up these one night stands, they would maybe bypass some of the birth control. Oh yeah, they would. Yeah, that whole thing. But it was an interesting conversation to have, actually, like on a TV show. People never really talk about these kinds of things. I feel on these shows about using protection if you're going out sleeping with people, and it's interesting that Sam even asked. I don't know. I just thought it was cool for a show.
And also with Dean saying that his skin feels like his skin is crawling. I don't think it's the idea of having a kid. I think it's the idea of possibly getting sick.
Oh yeah, that's true as well. And also, like, he was presumably tricked into impregnating this woman, which is morally abhorrent.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's a lot of issues with that.
The not the old wives' tale, but like the urban myth of women like poking holes into
Yeah, that's
condoms
what I thought.
before. And so yeah, could have certainly done that.
Yeah. So we go to the Amazon building, like the one that he followed them to earlier. And the leader is there. We can tell she's Amazon because the symbol is like everywhere. You know, they're wearing it and stuff. There's some girls there. They're all teenagers now. They've grown up even more. And she's branding them with an iron with this symbol on their wrist. And she says, you know, you're absorbing the traditions of our mothers and you are close to fulfilling your tribal destiny and taking your place alongside your sisters. Today you are a warrior. And the whole deal is that they're branding them, but they're like not supposed to sort of be stoic about it. And yeah. The same
way that she was with Lydia giving birth, like, you will take the pain in silence kind of thing.
Precisely. I think she says, like, today you will learn how to endure pain and how to inflict it. And as she brands Emma, she does make like a small noise while the other girls didn't. And she's like, fight it, Emma. With all you do, courage is everything. Back at the hotel, Sam and Dean are still doing research. And Dean says looking through Bobby's files is like dumpster diving. And Sam doesn't even pretend he knows anymore. He's just like, yeah, tell me about it. Like, so Dean puts like this picture down of this Greek building on top of a book. And then on top of another picture about like the women on horses. And they kind of have this conversation about like, why do they pick like these men they do? So they're all successful, like good looking. And then like Sam says, so what was Lydia doing with you? So mean.
So mean.
And Dean's like, well, you know, she might have thought I was a rich investment banker, and takes another drink from his flask. And Sam's like, oh my God, like he's so done with his self. And then when Dean looks down at the research, everything's like moved. I didn't really notice it move. I only noticed it because he said it did. I know. But now at the top of the stack, there's like this old piece of paper with some writing on. And he points it out to Sam. He's like, these papers moved. He's like, I didn't touch them. Sam takes him seriously, which is really surprising, and like gets the EMF meter out. But I don't know if he was taking him seriously or he was just being a dick.
He was. I think he was using it to be. He was being a dick. He was being a dick.
Yeah. So the EMF meter is buzzing, but then he like walks around. And he's like, "There's a power line. Like, oh yeah, and there's an open window and a breeze." He's like, "Seriously?" Like, so kind of slams the antenna down. And Dean's like, "I didn't feel a breeze." Sam says, "It doesn't matter. The readings are useless anyway." And then Dean makes this suggestion. He like holds up the flask and he's like, yeah, maybe. Sam's quite angry at this suggestion because he's like, we burned him, Dean. You know, what are you suggesting? And Dean's like, I don't know. What are you suggesting? And yeah, again, Sam's angry. He's like, concentrate on something else. Dean asks why. And Sam like shouts at him like, because it's not Bobby. And Dean is really open to the idea, like almost thinks it's kind of amusing, like it could be him. And Sam says like, you know, it can't be because we want it to be. And he takes the piece of paper and kind of walks off, and Dean's like, no, that could be useful. And Sam's like, you know, it's in Greek, like it's not useful. Nobody reads Greek. Dean says, you know, except Greeks. Oh, and Bobby. And Sam says, I'm the professor. So Sam's going to go. He's like, you know, keep the door locked. Don't go anywhere. I mean it. And he leaves by himself, presumably because he's kind of mad at Dean for suggesting that Bobby could be a ghost.
I think so.
Yeah. Because Dean has made a couple of like jokes about Bobby's death, but that's the way he's coping with it, about like the research and just saying like, you know, our expert's dead, like really nonchalantly, and now this, of like, you know, maybe Bobby's haunting us to help us with this case, ha 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 ha. And
yeah,
Sam knows, I think, that it could be a possibility, so he's like, just because it could be, right, Not necessarily that he knows anything. It could happen.
I guess also there's the idea of not wanting hope.
That too, yeah. I think maybe this is a point where he's like showing kind of a few of the cracks of like dealing with stuff, but it looks here as just grief rather than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Yeah. So Sam goes to see the professor. He's not happy because it's like 11:30 at night. But he does agree. He's like, the FBI isn't paying me enough for this. I thought they're not paying you anything for this. So he tries to read it, and Sam says, "Look, if you do this, we'll remove your wiretap," which I thought was such a good lie. Back at the hotel room, Dean's on the laptop, and someone knocks on the door. He picks up his gun as he walks across to it. And decides to... He waits, but he does decide to remove the chain and open it, which I thought was interesting. Because he, like, surely... He was expecting Lydia, and I think he thought he could take her. Yeah. But no, it's Emma. And she says, "Hi, you don't know me, but my name is Emma. I need your help. I think I'm in trouble, and you're the only person I can trust." And he says, "Why?" And she says, "Because you're my father."
Da, da, da.
I feel like they could have gone more Star Wars with this line. I feel like it could have been very good. Yeah.
So I didn't mention this earlier. The reason why we know the baby or the young girl to her is Emma, besides being called Emma, Lydia gave her a necklace with a heart on it. And so every time like she becomes older, they show this necklace because that's, they like to do that in the show. I just thought I'd mention that so that we do know this is actually Emma because she does have the necklace on.
And like Lydia is shown to sort of somewhat care for her because she seemed almost hesitant in handing her over at the door. Maybe because she knew what was coming for her as well, having to commit a murder and being trained to do that, presumably, which I can't imagine was fun.
Probably not, but also if I guess within every group there is that one person who's going to be like, "Oh, these rules suck and I don't want to live like this," but like I don't think that's who Lydia is. I think she is all for the cause. Otherwise she wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, you're so right. There was a moment of hesitancy. That's it. But she did ultimately hand her over, and I thought maybe that's what the necklace was symbolizing. That she cared for her somewhat. Yeah,
I guess so. So Dean asks her how she even found him, and she explains that the people have been watching Dean ever since Lydia got pregnant. And he's asking like, "Well, how did you escape?" And she says she waited until lights out, and the women watch over us at shift change. And so this is where like she's leaning into Dean's character, because she's like, they stick you in there and you trust them, it's all and you don't question what they do, terrible things. That's why I had to leave. They tortured me, like. And then she holds up the like branding on her wrist and is just like, they told me I had to endure pain so that I could be strong like them, but I don't want to be like them. And it's like, that was Dean in hell for 4 years.
I thought the same thing when I was watching this. She knows perfectly how to like tug on his sensibilities.
So Dean lets her in completely, and like puts the gun away and tells her to like have a seat. And Dean's like, "Okay, so let's assume you're not like them yet. What do you want me to do about it?" Like Dean doesn't have resources. Like he can't do anything. And she asked for him to get her away from that, like this area, because you're a good man. My mother told me that. It's like, well, she already made the comment that they didn't really talk about anything. And he lied the entire time.
And that's a big red flag, right? Because he even says like, "I doubt she said that." Like, and if you knew me, seriously doubt it's true. Like, there's no way Lydia would have said he was a good guy. Yeah.
And like the problem is he's also looking at himself with a tainted mirror, because he doesn't think he's a good guy, even though like actually he is.
But
so
They must have prepped her really well to like go after a hunter, because she's obviously got a more difficult job than her sisters, because he's trained. And so I think this is why she doesn't go in like
Guns
swinging.
blazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sure they did some research onto who he is, and like maybe found out that he was Michael's vessel and went through all this nonsense.
I don't know. I feel like it's more, most hunters probably had real shitty childhoods. So
True.
that's an easy comparison to make. And also they all have hero complexes. So they think they're good guys, or, deep down they think they're good guys, even if they don't necessarily like outwardly portray it or think that they are.
True.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a pretty easy, profile, I feel, of a hunter.
Yeah. Yeah. So Emma goes on to say, like, they told me you're a hunter, so you'll understand about me. Maybe you can protect me just long enough so I can get away. Then I'll leave you alone. I know you don't want me. And Dean's like, well, hang on. I didn't say that. We're not going there. He's just like, you get this isn't normal, right? He's like, how would I know? 3 days ago, I wasn't even alive. And I like, there's something about this that I'm just like, this is Jack. I know we're not there yet, but like, this is Jack.
You're so right. This is I'm so interested to get to the Jack arc, because I'm like, Dean, you should have handled this so much better than you do. But then his character is such that he wouldn't handle it in a better way, because he just like is incapable of doing that.
Yeah. So then she goes on to say, here I am. My mother threw me into that place, and my father, well, that's got to hurt. It's got to hurt real bad. You get, this is my last chance to have anything normal ever, right? And I'm just like, oh, that's playing into Sam there. Like, that's what Sam wanted.
Yeah, she's real good at this. Like,
yeah, she was really good at it. Yeah.
Because she's only a teenager as well. Like, she has that kind of like vulnerability. I feel, of like being young, and then she's coming in like, yeah, we have a similar backstory. Let's trauma dump on each other, and then you won't try and kill me.
Exactly, and I can get the jump on you, as it were. Yeah, I mean, you're right that she has a much more difficult job than the rest of them.
Yeah,
because the other ones, they're just going to go against an actual investment banker.
Yeah,
like, what does he know about defending himself? So we're back at the professor's office, and he's like, "Oh, it's fascinating," and like, it's just proving again the not having someone understand your situation, or the like hunter situation, because he's like fascinated by the paper. He hasn't even gotten to the actual text, and like Sam's like, "All right, hurry up." And he's like, "Where'd you even get this?" And Sam has like a little smile on his face. It's like a crazy old drunk genius, and it's like, yeah, they always have the good stuff. It's like, well, it's Greek, and he's like, yeah, I know that. Not a common dialect. Oh my God, what is it with you and Amazons? It says, Professor, it's important. And he's like, yeah, it's 11:30 at night. It better be. And he says, oh, here's a new twist. I don't like how they did this in this episode. It's like an explanation of what we just saw, because he just says that like it's not the women who procreated who killed them, it's the children.
Like, because this was a rewatch, this was not a twist to me, and I was like, what is the point in this? I know, again, because you've just seen it too, so I feel like it was kind of, I don't know.
It's redundant, completely redundant.
It was just a way to get Sam away from Dean so he could have his whole moment with Emma. True.
I guess actually for Sam to hear this, he's like, oh no, Dean is gonna have to confront his daughter. Yeah. I'm gonna have to step in because he's not gonna be able to.
That's so true. That is so true. Yeah.
So fine. It does feel like maybe it could have been ordered, kind of like how they did I guess they're talking too much, but like the comparisons between Lydia and Dean, and then the victim and his daughter. Again, maybe too much camera work for one episode.
I don't think so.
Do.
Like, they should have just put this in front of the other scenes. So, like, when Dean hears the knocks on the door, like, they're having this conversation and it's interspersed with the knocks on the door. And then they'd make the reveal that it's their daughters that kill them. And then he opens the door and it's Emma saying, hi. Or she should have said, like, hi, Dad.
True.
That would have been good. Yeah. That's how I would have edited it.
Yeah. But then, like, this, I don't know how impactful that conversation would have been.
Yeah, I don't know. But then, like, it would have gone into that conversation difficult. Next. Like, you know, would have been fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So Dean tells her that she looks exhausted. Like, so we're back at the hotel with Dean and Emma. He tells her that she looks exhausted and starving. You know, it's been a rough sweet 16.
This was really funny because she also looks fine. I just thought this was an inside joke. He goes like, you look exhausted. I'm looking like, no, she doesn't. She's definitely your daughter.
She looks good on camera.
Yeah.
And she's surprised that like Dean will actually help her. And she's like, yeah, if you really want. Like, and so as Sam is like rushing to leave the building, he comes across Charlene.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you're here late. It's like, listen, can we talk in the morning? And it's like, what's your hurry? Sam Winchester. Let's see if you can, I could run you for impersonating a federal agent. And then her eyes like turn a weird red color.
I feel like there was no, oh no, I was gonna say, I feel like there was no transformation needed for this monster.
No.
I don't know. Like,
they could just be strong.
Yeah, they could just be strong ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no. But I mean, they're not human though,
yeah.
right? Because that's what the DNA had said, that they weren't human, so fine. But like, they are.
Yeah, fine. Well, yeah, they are. Yeah, okay. All right. No, it was just a weird, I don't know. I guess how else do you show a monster make their eyes go kind of yellow? It was like yellow red.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. Their eye sockets got like tired looking.
Yeah.
The stress of being a woman.
Right. Well, yeah, essentially.
Right. Even strong women have difficult days. So yeah, they have a bit of a scuffle, and then Sam just turns around and shoots her, and she's dead.
That was an easy out.
No special bullets, no nothing, just a bullet to the heart. That'll do. Okay.
I guess like, because they go back to Greek times, so why would they need anything particularly special? Because they were essentially building an army. But
they're like the daughters of a god.
Yeah, I don't think that makes you like particularly special in Greek myth. Unless they did something to make you extra special. You know, like Achilles was dipped in immortality liquid apart from his heel.
True. Yeah.
Or someone's going to be like, immortality, it's something else. He's dipped in something else. I can't remember what he's dipped in. I don't know. He got dipped.
He got dipped. Holy water, whatever, a river Nile, something.
So it was something, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, unless they do something special to you, you are just human. I think that's the whole point of the like demigod situation. Yeah. And I guess there's like a lot of them too. So it would have been a lot to have them be killed by something else. Plus they sort of like...
but witches.
Yeah, true. But I mean, witches seem to be more underground, whereas in this episode they're kind of showing that the Amazons maybe have positioned themselves in places of power. So it'd be weird if you had these women in positions of power who like were suddenly unable to be killed by normal means. Like you would notice at some point. Looking forward to the professor explaining why there's like a dead police officer in his hallway. After the FBI have been visiting him, FBI agents who they have no, track of or can prove that they were there.
I think with what happens at the end of this episode, I think the Amazons basically collect all of them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there's no one left behind, essentially.
Also, like, I don't know if we know. I mean, this is just me speculating. We don't know that they're dead because they could just be. We don't know that that's because they're monsters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he just shot her with a regular bullet.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't silver. It wasn't engraved with anything. It wasn't dipped in anything. It was just a bullet. But anyway, so she's dead. Sam picks up the phone, but his phone has been destroyed. So he can't warn Dean that his daughter is trying to kill him.
I mean, I think he knows. It was like very convenient. Like, convenient that they just killed by normal things. Convenient that his phone gets smashed. And he has this really vital piece of information that Dean already knows.
This is TV. This is TV, though. This is classic, like, sitcom TV. Yeah, like, they're trying to build tension, and it's just like, yeah, but it's Dean Winchester. Like,
yeah, you did say about, like, there was a reveal that the daughters are the ones that are killing them. Mm-hmm. And it was so. The point they got to in this episode, I was like, don't they already know that? They already figured it out?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
there was no reveal there, and it was just, I don't know, it just came off really strange.
Mm-hmm. Anyway. I mean, it was revealed like super early in the episode too.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it was just like, what? Okay. Yeah, Sam and Dean are slow on the uptake. Big surprise.
Big surprise. It's because they don't have Bobby anymore. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. They do, though, because he did give them the information. It was just in Greek and nobody spoke Greek.
You're so right, yeah.
Okay, so we cut back to Dean and Emma, and they're basically talking about, like, what happens next, and she is trying to, like, he's saying, well, if you've gone missing, aren't they going to notice?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, they probably already have. But so if I want to get out, I have to go out now. But she's like, she mentioned earlier that she was hungry. So Dean goes over to the fridge and pulls out some, like, cheese and a leftover burrito. Like,
it's just like sliced cheese, American cheese. That's what we call it in the UK. The sliced single cheese, we call it just American cheese.
Yep. And she does the whole, like, angel blade drop. So, like, her special knife is now in her hand while Dean's back is turned. And I mean, of course he knows the trick because he's seen Cass do it a million times. So
true.
He turns back around and he's got a gun in his hand and he's like, you know, if you were asking, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
But he does not. She does not want to actually get away. She's there for her mission. Mm-hmm. Sam is now driving back to the hotel, and Emma's like cuts very quickly, and she says, "I thought you'd be a challenge. I was told you'd be a challenge." And Dean's like, "Oh, I figured you'd trap me up, try and catch me off guard. Almost worked. I was expecting your mother." I was like, okay. So she is reveal number 3.
Yeah.
She tells Dean that it's not her mother's place. She has to do it.
Yeah.
Dean is trying to be like, fight your fate.
Yeah. You're my kid. You don't have to do your destiny. Yeah.
Exactly. And she's like, it's what I am. Not like that, but like
just the look on Dean's face as she says all this, like, I have to do this. This is who I am. Like, they cut back to him a lot in this, and the face acting is on point because you can see he's like, oh my god, this is my kid. Like, she has the same issues I have, just in a different way, and you know, she really believes them. He was never going to kill her. Just making that point now.
And I don't think she was ever going to kill him. Honestly, I don't think so.
Either.
I can see it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because he's like, you know, I should have killed you. I should kill you right now. And she's like, but you could have done it 30 seconds ago. Mm-hmm. Sam in the background is like getting to the hotel and doing dangerous things on the road, which you shouldn't do. running around trying to get there as quickly as he can.
It's weirdly hard, isn't it? It is for me.
Knock it off.
How could it not be? You're my father.
Hey, we're not gonna do that.
But it's true.
Like I'm not dad material, but like you will be. Don't worry about it. You will be.
Like she's really playing into his like paternal instinct.
Yeah.
And it is hard because you're like, is this just a ruse to stop him from killing her before she kills him? Is it like, it's really hard to tell. And I guess that's part of this episode is like, you kind of never know.
Yeah. Also, it's difficult because we don't really know the law around these women because like, how would they know that this would be such an issue for Dean and like the way that he wants to fight fate and all this kind of stuff? Like they didn't have that conversation. Like she thought he was an investment banker. Like
Yeah,
they didn't get this deep.
It's just like like if you think, you know, because she is his kid, like, she looks a bit like him, and I feel like they purposely dressed her like him too before they sent her out to hunt him, to tug at those like heartstrings. I don't know. It's because he'd be thinking like, does she have my eyes? Like, does she look? It's just very weird. I don't know. It's kind of the perfect way for them to kill somebody. Yeah, mess with them. Yeah.
She also then so we get Sam's perspective as he gets to the door and he's like overhearing their conversation. She says, "You're the reason we're standing here." It's like, actually,
wow,
it's not. That's kind of rude.
I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. So now someone has to kill someone. You know what? So far, my childhood's been kind of disappointing.
It's like, yeah, this is your Dean's child.
Yeah, everyone's childhood is very disappointing in this show. You just have to
all the way down.
Yeah.
Yep. Dean is saying, walk away. I'm not going to come after you. Again, very much Emma leaning very much into fate, saying, I can't. I don't have a choice. Sam eventually comes into the room and he spins around. So I think at this point, she's faking it more because she turns to Sam and says, "Don't let him hurt me." It's like somehow they managed to find out so much about Dean Winchester.
Yeah.
But they didn't find out enough about Sam because Sam's always going to back up Dean no matter what it is.
Yeah, but she turns to Dean and says, "Please don't let him hurt me," before Sam shoots her.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah. She turns back to Dean and says it.
Yes.
In her after all the kind of adult conversations they've been having. Yeah, she uses her child voice.
Yeah.
And he looks shocked in that moment of whoa, as Sam shoots her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she turns to Sam with the demon eye or the Amazon eyes, but her eyes go back to normal to look at Dean. So he pronouns. I'm so sorry. Dean doesn't realize that she is actually a monster because as soon as Sam saw her, it's end of the line. Yeah, she has to go. So
yeah.
So eventually Sam just shoots her. She's dead. Dean acknowledges it. He's not happy about it. Clearly not. Because he just shot a teenager who's 3 days old. Take that out of context. And then so they leave the building and they go to where they suspect all the Amazon people were. I don't know how they figured that out, but I guess they did.
Dean followed her earlier in the episode. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
He saw them go into the building.
About that. Yeah. They go in there and he says, "Here's the mothership." And as they walk around, everything's gone. They've moved on to their next town because we sort of said that is more likely that they just like picked up all the bodies afterwards. So like Charlene has been picked up by them, and Emma has probably been picked up by them while they're going to this place, so that their existence isn't notified across the world. Because obviously this is the last time you ever hear about this and these creatures.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah. So just like the people who can turn into dogs, we don't hear about them again, but they are among us. Or X-Files. So, of course, the last scene of this episode is in the car because they have to have a conversation about what just happened.
Yep.
And Sam's driving for once.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was weird, and then I remembered that they're not in the Impala, so there is no like connection to the car.
There's no hierarchy anymore.
Yeah.
And Dean's like, it was disappointing. I wanted to take them out as much as you did, but like next time we'll get them. And you're like, nope.
He does say if we live that long, so like they're kind of giving an out.
True. Sam doesn't say anything, and he's like, okay, fine, just sit there and be pissed. And Sam is like mad at Dean. His reason for being mad, this annoyed me, this scene. His reason for being mad, he was like,
What did you say to me? When I was the one who choked, what did you say about Amy? You kill the monster.
I was going to.
Oh, the hell you were. You think I'm an idiot?
You think I am?
Dean, you were gonna let her walk.
No, I wasn't. That's ridiculous.
And Sam eventually says, like, she wasn't yours, like, not really. You could have just killed her because she wasn't your daughter, is what he's really saying.
Yeah.
And Dean kind of does this thing where he's like, well, and he kind of grins. He's like, she was actually, like, she was a crazy man-killing monster, but, she was my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam doesn't really acknowledge this. Instead, he says,
Bobby was right. Your head's not in it, man. When Cass died, you were wobbly, but now...
I was like, why are you bringing Cass into this, Sam?
Yeah, like, what?
What how
did we get here? This was cruel.
Yeah. Also, I do love that everyone's pointing that out. Like, look, Cass died and you've gone absolutely south. What's happened, man? I didn't know see it. I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And Dean says, you're dealing with it so perfectly. Newsflash, pal. You're just as screwed up as I am. This was so funny. He just said, you're just bigger. That kind of cracks Sam out of his... He's like, what? And he's like, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Do you think that was originally the line, or do you think it was like a take and then they're like, actually that works?
I think it was ad-libbed, actually, thinking back on it.
Yeah.
Just because of the pause in there. Like, I don't think he remembered what it was, and it's just like, okay, fine, we'll go with it, yeah.
We'll go with it. That is true. He was bigger.
And since this is a filler episode, it really doesn't matter, really, of, like, what's said.
No, not at all. So they have, like, the final serious moments, and Sam's like, look, it almost got you killed tonight, I don't care how you deal, but, like, just don't get killed. Which is what Bobby said to him as well, really.
It is, yeah.
And all Dean has to say to that is like, I'll do what I can. So says, what's that supposed to mean? He's like, it means I'll do what I can, all right? And you can shut up about it. And then the episode just ends.
Done. Yep. Yeah. Oh, like, doing this rewatch is so wild because, especially since where we know where this is going, and it's just like, I'll do what I can. It's just like, about not getting killed. And it's just like, yeah, but you kind of don't, though, but you kind of do.
You don't do much about it. You don't really try. This is a good... I like this filler episode because in the last episode, Dean's trying to be okay, right? He's trying to put his Dean mask back on at the end of the episode. That's what that's about. He's fixing it back into place. And then this episode is about what happens when he does that. And it all goes wrong. So he fixes his Dean mask, he goes out, he does his Dean thing, he sleeps with a woman from a bar and goes out drinking and stuff, and then He gets the woman pregnant because she's some kind of supernatural entity, and the child tries to kill him. And it's like, maybe you should be yourself rather than this Dean persona. Maybe that's the thing that's killing you, is like the mask that you're putting on your face. Literally trying to kill you.
Yes. This like if you also think about it from like Chuck's perspective, it's him like redirecting the course, right? Of like you're going off script, man. We got to knock you back in a little bit. Like don't be like this anymore. We got to put you back on the right road.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you stray.
Yeah. You know, the parallels between Emma and Jack are really funny, actually. Because, like, I know... This is what I've said in my head, and now I'm going to say it out loud, right?
Do it.
This is why we never saw Dean have sex with Cass, was because he was worried he'd knock him up and he'd end up with another kid who tried to kill him. Except that did happen, and that kid's name was Jack.
Yeah.
That's their kid. You
that
cannot
is
say, look,
no.
Jack has 2 dads and an uncle, and his two... Okay. He doesn't have 3 dads. He has 2 dads and an uncle.
He does. And an aunt.
And an aunt.
His aunt is...
Yeah, of course. Eileen as well. We can't stop her from being here. But, yeah, it is wild because...
Yeah.
Jack... I love Jack as a character, right? I can't wait to see Jack. Love him. Love Alex Calvert. I love everything about Jack. What I don't like about Jack is how much from previous seasons doesn't go into his interactions with other characters.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Because, like, Dean literally, like, his daughter, supernatural daughter, was murdered in front of him here, and she was saying, I don't have a choice, this is who I am. I have to kill... Jack is exactly the same. Yep. This is who I am. Like, he's got a from Lucifer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got this pre-destiny in his bloodline, like all the rest of them.
But yeah, and instead of being like, oh yeah, this time maybe I can convince this kid not to kill people, and we can like try, Sam's not going to shoot him this time. Mm-hmm. But I need to get to that point in the show, because I'm like, where was Dean in his headspace that he was still like, a monster's a monster? Because I just don't feel like it was that case. I don't know. There's a lot in this episode about that only works on a rewatch.
Yes. Yeah.
The other thing is, season 7 is sure like throwing up a lot of characters that could have come back to kill Dean at the end, right?
This is true.
There was Amy's kid, definitely deserved to murder Dean. Like,
oh yeah.
I wouldn't have been mad about it. I would have, but I'd be less mad about it. Also, Emma, if Emma had got away and then come back and been like, well, now I get another chance to like join my Amazon warrior tribe by killing you.
True. Yep.
That would have been a good like turnabout as well. Mm-hmm. Rather than Jenny the vampire. Still mad about it.
Still forever. Someone who had like, who was human when they left off.
The thing is, they literally could have brought Emma back because, yeah, Sam shot that woman and it looked like she was dead, but was she? And then he shot Emma. Who knows? They could that bullets don't kill them and they just like knock them out or something and they kind of who knows?
That's true. And it would have been kind of interesting to see her like, maybe there's some sort of consequence beyond her being rejected by her family.
Yeah.
Oh, that could have been so good. She was rejected by her family. Like, the things they could have done with that. They missed an opportunity.
Season 7 is ripe with opportunity that never goes anywhere in Supernatural.
Nope. Yeah. That's the real reason why people don't like season 7. The opportunity.
The opportunity. It was there, dripping with fruit. Yeah. I don't know. But I really did like this episode. I think I stand by it. I still think it's good.
Yeah. So still don't like the name of the episode, only because it is a slight to the Spice Girls and it could have had a better name, I think. I think it's because it's lazy. I think that's the reason why. Because like they cut off the hands and feet, so it's just like ha ha, Slice Girls, ha ha. No, do better.
What?
I'm sure that there's other reference you could make with that.
They could have done. They did a Wonder Woman reference in the episode. They could have done a Wonder Woman reference in the
episode title.
Yeah, I don't know what they're. I'm not good at stuff like that, but yeah, I agree. Spice Girls didn't deserve this.
No, they did not. Do not disrespect their names. I don't know why I'm so protective of them, but I am.
Childhood, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I think it's the first cassette tape I ever bought. So
I think it's the same with Spice World. The white background. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being probably about 8 or 9 years old, singing the Spice Girls in one of my friends' back gardens. You know.
Yeah, as we all did.
We all did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this episode, really. I
think I said it all. I think I said it all in a big old rant then.
Next episode, though, I am actually kind of excited for.
Me too, actually.
It's Plucky Pennywise Magical Menagerie.
Oh, wait, no. I'm not excited about this. I don't like clowns.
I don't either, but I just love the way that they used the clown in this to scare Sam the entire episode. Funny. I thought it was so good. It's such a silly episode. I can't remember who the monster is, if he's actually real or not.
I don't know. Is it like a kind of It situation?
No, I don't think so. I can't remember, to be fair. Oh, is things coming to... It's people's fears coming to life, which is why it's a clown.
Oh, that's right. So it is an It situation. So
I guess. So yeah, you're right. Which hopefully this leads into more of like Sam not realizing things are real or not. I'm hoping that they bring that kind of back in, and I think they do, because this is leading up to Cass coming back. Ooh! So I think they're going to start switching back over to maybe Sam's story a little bit more, and like Lucifer and stuff. So we'll see.
I think we're getting into the second half of the season. It's exciting for sure.
Yep, we've got like 10 episodes left of the season. So crazy.
So crazy.
And then we get season 8. I am so excited for season 8.
Season great. That was even a song, but I'm excited for it too. Yeah. So yeah, this week we like to thank the Pixel Agora for his wonderful art for our podcast. And if you'd like it, I don't know, maybe just like a big framed picture on your wall. I don't know, your house decor. You can buy it on Redbubble. And if you'd like to come talk to us about the Spice Girls or the Slice Girls, we're on all social medias. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Bluesky, Tumblr, as Escaping Purgatory Podcast. We're just Escaping Podcast on Bluesky though. So come say hi.
Yep. This week, we did a thing. We did a naughty thing.
To be
and that and it resulted in a child that grew exponentially like a fly, as they said. And hopefully next week we can find our way out.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know what any of that was.
It was so random. It's fine.